anticipation.
It's gotta be good.
If I get thrown out, I'll go live with my mom.
Mama, get off the tamales.
Welcome to the Real Estate and Chill podcast, the newest and coolest podcast. So tune in. Two experts discussing the real estate market. Loan officer James Chudley and associate real estate broker Kevin Iglesias. Beware, this is not another boring podcast. This right here is the shit you need to hear. Respectfully.
Welcome back to the newest episode of the Real Estate and Chill podcast. I'm your host, James Chowdhury from United Mortgage, here with
Kevin Iglesias, associate broker. Today in the building, as always, is $1 million episode. We got the man himself, the winner of the Real Estate Protege, part 1, right? He's probably door knocked on your door asking to sell your house, or actually when you're planning to move. We got Manny Sanchez, leader of the Sanchez team in the building. Let's go!
Thank you for having me, man. Super honored to be here.
Oh, of course. Thanks for coming out. Please introduce yourself.
This is long overdue, by the way.
It is.
What do you mean?
You know, we were planning to make this happen a while back, but, you know, it's happening now. So
Yeah.
Finally.
I'm excited. And thank you. My name is Manny Sanchez. I'm the co-founder of the Sanchez team. We're now at Realty Connect USA. And I'm super excited to be here. I'm a big fan, man.
Thank you, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
We appreciate
Give
it.
us some insight of like your background and you know how you got into the business. A lot of people know you already,
Right.
But let our audience know, please.
Yeah. So I've been working in the restaurant industry for like 8 years, and once I started working at this restaurant where I was trying to become a manager, and I was super excited. But then I realized the amount of hours that I had to work, right, which is like 60 hours. And at that time, my older daughter was just 2 years old. And I remember that one day I got home and she was already talking, right? So I was like, man, I'm missing all of this and, just for money. And then I was like, I need to do something else, right? And then, I pretty much got fired from that restaurant. And when I got fired, I promised myself that I was going to try to build something on my own. I was like, you know what? I don't want to be working for someone else's dream. I want to start working for my own dreams, right? So my wife, she also got fired. So she got a part-time job. We started working at a different restaurant, but now with a different mentality, right? We wanted to build something. So she got a part-time job at a brokerage as a secretary. And I remember that one day she came home and she was like, babe, you want to know how much real estate agents make? And I'm like, okay, yeah, definitely. And then she was like, this is like just one commission check. And I'm like, oh shit, it takes me like a month to get that amount of money, right? So she was like, you know what, I'm gonna become an agent. And I'm like, that's great, right? So she got her license. I got another job just to make sure that I will cover for everything. And then she will go in, because we knew that real estate was not consistent. And so she got her license, super excited. She went, and we actually went and started door knocking. And it's funny because we didn't know anything, right? We would just knock on the doors, oh, have you ever thought of selling? And it's crazy because she started getting listings that way. And then I was like, that's it. This is what I'm going to do. So I waited for her to pretty much started getting clients and stuff like that. So that way I could leave one of my jobs and then get my license. And that's exactly what I did. And then, I'm here now. Yeah,
Wow.
Super excited. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it was meant to be.
I think that one thing that you just talked about that's very important is when you're working at a job, you're working in the restaurant industry, right? So you're working for somebody else and you're making that money, you're working for them. You are making money too, but you're not working towards your own dreams.
Right.
So I think an important thing that you just talked about, just going over the fact that when you're, working for yourself, you're making your own money, you can be making more money, but you also have that freedom where you wanted to, take care of you see your kids grow up
right.
and everything of that nature. So seeing that is just a huge plus. Even if you're making the same amount of money, but you're able to see that and that has value to you, it's a huge win.
You have that extra time, because I feel like that's what it's all about. You can be making a lot of money, but if you don't have time, then how good is it?
And the hours you're going to work,
Right.
if you're going to work those crazy hours and you're working for somebody else, it's not as worth it as it would be for working for yourself.
Exactly. No, now, last year, which was my first year as a licensed agent, I saw the difference because I have a 1-year-old, right? And I've been able to enjoy all of this part of her life, with my older daughter. I missed that, and it was big. Yeah.
That changes you in a good way because now, you're doing something completely different, and now you're able to experience that, which is obviously such a great thing.
Right.
So how was your first year in real estate? Because that's, some people say, "Oh, my first year was horrible," but I think you started at a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, the market was it was insane. You could list a shed and it would still sell over ask.
Yeah, everything sold over ask. No, it was amazing. And on top of that, I also had a really big opportunity to be on one of the number one team in Long Island. And that taught me a lot. I feel like that saved me a lot of time because, I was very hungry, to go out there and get business. But the broker that I had at that time, he gave me all of this experience. He taught me all of these things that I feel that saved me a lot of time, So, it was great. I felt like it was great because I was hungry. I had, the willingness to put in the work, but I also had the guidance at the same time. So it made a big, big difference though my first year. I felt like it was amazing, to be honest.
So what do you think you've learned from that experience that you're going to, because now congratulations on starting your own team, right? So what are you going to take from that to add towards your team? Like what are some of the main points that you would bring up?
Yeah, no, definitely. Like the first thing, I feel like, there's no, I will say secret or something that, it's unknown to make it in this business, right? Or to do something great. And it's pretty much, I'm going to keep following up this. I'm going to keep doing the same thing that I was doing last year. It's just that now trying to build my own brand pretty much. But same thing, discipline, consistency every day. Yep.
Where do you think you got that discipline from? So where do you think it came from?
Come on, he's Saudi.
Yeah, I was going to tell you that. Yeah. So it's been just the dream of accomplishing something, that have made me learn that I can't do something big. I don't know if I'm not disciplined. I need to be disciplined, right? So, I think it's just work ethic that has made me want to have discipline. It has shown me, right? Like I worked since I'm 12. So it has shown me that whatever you want, you can accomplish as long as you do what it needs to be done.
Yeah.
So.
And that was in Salvador, right? Because you came here when?
I came here when I was about to be 20.
20.
When
wow.
I came here, yeah.
Wow. How old are you now?
30.
30. So 10 years ago.
Yeah. Yep,
so you had to basically adjust, learn a new language.
Oh yeah.
Like it's and especially it's easier when you come here when you're younger because you can adapt to things really quick. I'm assuming it was a lot harder.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I had the chance to learn English in El Salvador, right? Because there is these companies that can pay you pretty much like the double, like minimum. Like, you can make like double the minimum just by knowing the language. So I was like, once I found out about that, I'm learning English, and that's what I did. So when I came, I kind of had an idea, but it was still like a whole new world.
Yeah, it's like...
You were born over there, right?
I was born, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. See, I was born here. I was born in Queens, but my parents told me Spanish first.
Nice.
So I was in ESL and everything. I was the smartest kid in ESL. English as a second language, if you don't know.
Yeah. I took some classes.
That's funny because me and my dad, we only speak English to each other. We've only spoke English to each other like forever. And then me and my mom, we speak a different language to each other. So I'm like half and half. That's why like my Bengali is like horrible, but like I can still get by. But I can understand everything.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know. That's just like.
But the fact, just learning two languages, just knowing another language, it helps you out in the business a lot.
100%.
Yeah. It opened doors, You
100%. Especially Spanish.
Right.
I feel like it's the second language of the country. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like there's so many Spanish speaking.
Well, interesting fact: the United States does not have like a language. Like there's no like unified language, even though English is the most spoken.
Right.
There's no unified language like in America. So it could be anything. There's no like actual set language. Interesting fact.
Yeah, it really is, to be honest.
It's a one big melting pot. Basically.
It really is. I mean, especially in New York though, because when you go like into the city or you go into like Queens, you know what I mean? Like Queens is literally like everything. You go into a different borough, you see like different people all over the place. They're like little countries inside of little like towns in Queens. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's a blessing in disguise getting fired. Because funny story is, I got fired too. I got fired, and that's what made me. I always went full time because I didn't have anything else to depend on.
Right.
And the fact that I got fired, I was like, you know what? I didn't like the authority of somebody having that over me. Like I can
Right.
just let you go whenever I want to.
Right.
So I was like, you know what? I gotta just study and get my license. I thought it was gonna be like easy, like you see on TV, but slap in the face. It was not easy at all. In the beginning, I started cold calling, door knocking. I see that's what you do as well.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's my main.
Have you had a lot of success? Because a lot of people like, I don't want to door knock. I'd rather post on social media.
Right.
I feel like you have to do a little bit of everything, but I feel like the old school ways are the best ways. 'Cause it gets you in front of people. You get comfortable. You learn from your mistakes. Like, what have you seen as far as like knocking on the doors and the 75 flyer challenge?
Flyer
Right?
challenge.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about that. So tell us about what is the 75 challenge?
Oh, so like I saw a lot of people like doing like a 75-day hard challenge.
75 hard,
working
yeah.
out. So I'm like, let me do the same thing with dropping flyers. I drop flyers and door knocking, and I door knock pretty much every day because that's like for me that's my main way of prospecting. Cold calling and door knocking. So you just let me make it seem like I'm gonna do it for 75 days straight and see what I get from that. And it was amazing. I mean, I still do it. I'm over with the challenge, but I'm still doing it. And so far, I think all of my leads, all of the deals that I've had, came from either cold calling or door knocking.
Wow.
Yeah. I haven't really have success in like getting fistfuls or like flipping fistfuls like he does.
Yeah, so it's funny because for sub-by owners, it's just like you just have to show them value.
Right.
You have to show them that you're an asset more than just a paycheck.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Of course. Yeah, no, definitely.
I just went to 2 for sub-by owner appointments yesterday.
Nice.
And they were just like, we're so happy to meet with you. At first, they were like, I'm not going to show you the home. I'm like, look, I just spent so much money in gas. It's a
Right.
beautiful house. Show me the house. I'm here now.
Right.
And then after the conversation just completely changes.
Yeah, you have to provide value, right? No, that's interesting. Yeah, no, I've tried it, but I haven't been able to. Most of the people that it's funny, like I've seen some people that are scared of like door knocking, right? Because they've seen crazy things, maybe. But I'm not afraid of calling fistfuls, but I've had crazy people being like, "Oh, I don't want to deal with you." So I've had more success going to, people's door or dropping flyers or cold calling than fistfuls.
So
far,
it's interesting because all right, so the people that you've door knocked, they weren't on the market. They were just basically
like.
So those are the best ones to get though, because nobody's really going after them.
Yeah.
See, with the
that's why I like them. Yeah, that's why I like them.
I know those are the best ones.
Yeah.
With the for sale by owners, why I like them is because it's a challenge.
It's a challenge. Oh
And
yeah.
I love the challenge. I like being challenged, and just convincing them, it's a rush.
It is. Yeah, I can't imagine.
Yeah, but
I've never been on the door knocking side. I always cold call. I still do cold call. Like I do that all the time. Door knocking I've never done. But were you scared of it in the beginning or no? Like,
Not
were
at
you
all.
ever? You were never scared of it?
I mean, I was a little nervous, and I think it's just nature,
Yeah,
right?
it's normal.
Yeah. So when I started doing it is when my wife was an agent, right? I wasn't an agent back then. I would just join her, and I did have this feeling of like I will knock on the door and be like, I hope they don't open, man. And I could just do this thing, right, at the beginning, right? But then when I realized that most people are actually really nice, so I was like, I really want to speak to them. And then I realized that, it's a process, right? You go to a random person, you offer your service. Most of the time, they're not like ready, like right away, but you build a relationship, So once I understood that, I wanted to talk to people because I go and I don't expect them to sign the same day, but to build a relationship, right? Introduce myself, tell them who I am, get their phone number, and then just like follow up every couple of months. And that's what I focus on now, just building a relationship more than, just offering a service.
So you've been an agent for less than what, 2 years?
Yeah, like a year and a half.
A year and a half. What do you think would be like the biggest challenge you would say?
To be honest, I don't really think real estate is challenging, to be honest. I mean, after coming from like working in restaurants, washing dishes, cooking, stuff like that, I really feel like real estate is a blessing. I feel like there's absolutely nothing hard. It's something that might require a little bit more consistency and effort, but I don't really think there's absolutely nothing challenging.
It's
or
fun.
Like, yeah, it's fun, yeah.
It's fun. It's a fun thing.
It's like discovering things about yourself too. That's why I like it, because I feel like in order to become good in this, I need to work on myself.
Right.
I don't have to it's like when you go to a job, right? You have to do, I don't know, probably learn whatever system they're teaching you, right?
Yeah.
To like get a promotion or something. In here, it's all about like you. So that's what I love about that.
Have you had any like obstacles like over the last couple like year and a half that you've had to overcome like with real estate? Like any challenges, like not something that's hard, but just something that challenged you?
Just the fact that I would really like for this business to be like more consistent, and I feel like it's something that you build, right? I feel like eventually I'm gonna get to the point where like, I'm gonna be more consistent with the income and everything. But so far, the only challenging thing is to keep up with like, make sure that I put in all the work, but at the same time, I have to go to my job and kind of like have something more consistent. Right. So just keep up with that, and then my family, it's time. I feel like that's what it is. Yeah.
So you've stopped completely working, right? So now you're full-time real estate?
No. Last year I stopped because the restaurant that I was working at, after COVID, it got really slow. So I was like, you know what? Let me do real estate like full-time.
Gotcha.
And I did it for like a couple of months. But then I'm like, you know what? I came up with my own team, and I felt like, now I'm going to have to work even harder, right? So I decided to work hard on real estate, but at the same time go back to the restaurant industry.
Gotcha. Yep. So you're doing work. So your work ethic is crazy because you gotta do both now.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, honestly, like what I saw, like when I first 2 years, I would say like first 3 years, maybe even more. Like consistency for me like was an issue because getting that paycheck, getting deals closed, because you don't know exactly like when a seller's gonna say, oh yeah, we actually have to wait like a couple extra weeks, and then like on my side, like when the deal closes, I don't get paid right away.
Right.
So like there's delays on like a lot of different things on my side. No. So it's like you don't know. Like even if a deal closes, you might not get paid for. I might not get paid for like maybe a few weeks after. I don't know exactly when I'm gonna get the check. So it's like it was a little bit annoying and like a little bit difficult, but once I got into the flow of just like having deals like consistently go in, like what Kevin says, always act like your pipeline's empty. So then you keep searching for deals, keeping moving forward, and like not getting comfortable with it. I feel like that's helped me like get more consistent with it. Nice. I can't say that every single month I do the same amount of business because like for me it changes. I don't know if like it's very hard to have like consistent amount of business every single month because sometimes it's higher, sometimes it's lower. But I think that's definitely helped. Like just staying hungry and like I don't think you have a problem with that whatsoever because you're willing to put in these hours, like crazy hours into it.
Yeah.
But one thing I want to touch base on is, I think that with you, you clearly are okay with taking risks. Like from what you've been saying about door knocking, everything like that, like you don't get nervous about taking risks, which I find interesting because I feel like a lot of people have a difficult time like taking those risks, like jumping out of, what they're doing to go into a job that doesn't have set salary, right? Like not knowing where the paycheck comes in. But I feel like for you came into it pretty easy. You're just like, you know what? I like it. I want to do it. Like you weren't scared of the risk. Is there something that has caused that? Something you've learned before that's caused that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I pretty much came to this country with nothing, but the clothes that I was wearing. So what do I got to lose? Everything's a win, though. Everything's a win for me, to be honest, though. Ever since I got to this country, everything has been a win. So
it's that mindset.
I think that's interesting because, we have a lot of people on the show, obviously, and we've had people who were not born in this country, come on the show, and they say very similar things. Yeah. Like there has to be some sort of correlation between coming to this country, being in the shoes that you were in. Because my dad did the same exact thing. He came here with nothing, and then took risks because you got to take risks to make the big money. Definitely. Risk comes with money, so it's interesting to see that correlation between being able to just take risks like that.
Right. No, cool. Definitely.
The bigger the risk, the bigger the reward.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
Yeah.
When I first got into the business, that was my biggest thing. Was commissions is not steady. Some months, 2-3 months would go by, I wouldn't have a paycheck, and then 1 month there would be a big fat paycheck. But the months that you don't get paychecks, you're stressing out. You're oh man, this is nuts. Yeah. You just have to build your pipeline.
Exactly.
And once you get more information and knowledge on the business, that confidence will boost up, and then you just keep doing business and business and business. It's all about connections.
Right, right. And also consistency, right? You want to because I know for sure, I know that a year from now, I'm going to be I'm going to have more deals in my pipeline, right? But I have to get there first. I can't just be I will, and then I'm not going to do anything. No, it takes time. It's building. That's why I like it. That's why I like this industry, because I feel like something that you build.
100%.
It's nice.
And you can make as much money as you want to. Exactly. There's nobody stopping you saying, all right, you've made enough.
Yeah.
You can go make as much money as you want.
Exactly.
So I have another question. So,
sure.
When you went from when COVID hit, a lot of people were dealing with a lot of different things, right? When this happened, did you have some sort of set fund? Because I think that as the market is shifting, right, into more of a buyer's market right now, we're going to see a place where some realtors are not going to have all those deals coming in that they were before.
Of course.
It's going to slow down a little bit for, some people. So in those cases, how did you deal with that? When you left your job and then you went to real estate, did you have money set aside for emergency fund or something like that just to hold you over until you started making money with real estate? No, nothing
not
like
really.
that?
Because at that time, I had just bought a house. And, I bought the house when COVID hit. And then all my savings they went pretty much to the house. Yeah. And then I wasn't expecting for my restaurant job to pretty much got as slow as it did. So I was pretty much just
And you have a brand new mortgage.
Right, and a brand new mortgage.
And a baby.
And a baby.
Yeah, and a baby, yeah.
Oh, you
babies.
you had the cards against you on that one, I have to say.
Not really, because I felt that last year, real estate was really good. And, I was putting in all of this work. I was getting deals. And then on top of that, because I was on a team, I was also getting leads. So I was getting a steady, I would say, paycheck. I was getting paychecks consistently. So it was great.
I got 2 questions.
Yeah.
What made you say, you know what, I want to start my own team?
Right. So, the reason why I got into real estate is because I didn't want to work hard to I didn't want to work hard on someone else's dream.
Right.
I wanted to make sure that whatever effort I was doing, it was going to be for my future. So when I got into that team, it was amazing. I mean, it's one of the best teams here in New York, right? But I just felt that I was not building something for me. I felt like I was just continuing to build something for, that broker. And it made me realize that, I need to do something that 10 years from now, I'm going to be proud of. My kids are going to be proud of, right?
Right.
So I decided to jump, and build my own team. I knew that I was going to struggle because now I'm going to depend on my own.
Yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I was not going to have those extra leads and stuff like that. But I feel like it's going to be worth it. 5 years from now, I'm going to be thank God I took the decision. Not because there was something wrong with that team. It's just that it's my dream.
It's all perspective. It's
Right.
all it's your life. You got to
Right.
do what you want to do.
Exactly.
And if that's what you wanted to do, then
Right.
power to you. Who can tell you no? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
You started in one of the hottest markets, right? You
Right.
could list a house one day, in 24 hours, you got 24 offers.
Right.
How are you preparing now with the market that's shifting? Because it's going to be a completely different market now.
Yeah, I'm going to have to adapt. I feel like I'm not coming to this industry with the idea that everything's going to be easy, right? It's more about learning. And that, like I said, again, that's why I like this industry is because I need to work on myself to do great. So the reason why, I feel like the way I'm going to prepare for this coming market is just by learning, and trying to, see what's going on, learn how I can do better, and just move around,
Yeah.
is there a particular book that you've ever read that's
Yeah, there's a couple, though. There's a couple of books that are really...
because you're straight out of Rich Dad Poor Dad. Literally what
I
you're
read that
saying
one,
is
though.
exactly,
Yeah.
it's exactly like the book, which is amazing because I love that book.
Yeah.
So it's it's crazy. It's crazy because you've actually done it. You know what I mean? Working for somebody else, and then you've learned so much from it. Now expanding on doing your own thing, you were learning, and you were obviously getting paid, but you were doing it for knowledge. And now in this market shifting, you're also willing to just keep learning about stuff because your goals are longer term than short term.
Exactly.
So pretty crazy. I read the book all the time. I just read parts of it over again, just
That's great.
for no reason.
It's funny because Manny, we just formally met maybe a few months back, right, at the Realty Connect meeting.
Yeah.
And then when I saw that they announced it on their Instagram, I was like, oh crap! I didn't even know he made the switch.
Yeah.
But then I saw you at the meeting.
I know. Well, a lot of people were surprised, though.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I feel like it's just a matter of, what makes you happy, right?
Yeah.
And I was happy. I feel like Realty Connect is an amazing company, to be honest, though. That was actually the company. Yeah.
Shout out Realty Connect.
Yeah, no, that was actually the company my wife and I were going to go before we got the opportunity to be on the team, though.
Wow.
Yeah. I was going to go there, but then, this thing came out. I won the contest, and then I'm like, oh, all right, cool.
So let's dive into that. So how was that whole experience of being on the show? Shout out to JB. Shout out to Brian.
Oh yeah,
Clark.
no, amazing. Yeah, no, it was great. It was, I didn't know what to expect. I just went there, and it's funny. Like my wife saw the video, and she watched the video, right? And then she was like, "Babe, you gotta watch this, right?" And I'm like, "All right." And then they were like announcing it and saying that the only thing you had to do was like record like a 60-second video, right? So I'm doing it, right? So I did it, and then they called me and they were like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna be part of the whole contest, right?" So I went there and I didn't know what to expect. I just went there hoping that, I was going to either learn or win, right? And yeah, it was great. It was great. It was great. It was challenging a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah, they had you waking up at what time? Like 3 o'clock or something?
Yeah,
like 4 o'clock?
I had to be there like at 4 o'clock.
So what time do you have to wake up? Like we're getting behind the scenes.
Yeah,
like 3 o'clock, you have to wake up and then go. What time do you go to sleep? If you wake up at 3 o'clock, what time are you going to sleep?
So it's funny because like one of the nights, I think I got home like at 10. So
so
we woke up, like 8, 9, something like that. I woke up at 4. I went through like all the challenges and stuff like that. Then I got home like at 9. Then I probably went to bed like 11.
Wow.
And
then you wake up at 3 again.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, I felt like they were the longest 4 days of my life, man.
I could see that because you're also doing like so many different things. Like you're moving at all points in time. I love the series. I watched it. I loved it. And the thing is that during the show, everyone's like rooting for you. Like people were like rooting for you. Like they were saying like Manny's such a good guy. Like I don't think people have any bad things to say about you.
Right.
Which is genuine. Like that shows like your character.
Right.
Like nobody has anything bad to say about you. You know what I mean? Which is cool.
Yeah, no, it was nice, and I appreciate that. Yeah, a lot of people were like, giving me their support and stuff like that, and it's crazy because like none of that was like planned or anything. Like we would literally get to the building and they would just like tell us what to do and and then we would wait on a room and then same thing, and everything was like a surprise pretty much.
Wow, that's wild. Yeah. We should start. We should link up with them and start a real estate and chill protege show.
All right.
So what was the number one thing you would say you learned from Carp?
Consistency and discipline. I feel like a lot of people are like trying to accomplish like amazing things, and they probably feel like it's something special that you have to do, but it's basically just a simple routine done over and over and over again. Something that I learned from him and that I'm really gonna like keep forever is you don't have to. First you can't control a lot of things. You can only control what you do, right? And what I've learned from him is that you have to. You can't really define your success based on today's wins or loses, right? So it's all about like trying to do something good every day, like win something every day, pretty much. And that's what like if I have a goal of like making $1 million, right? I can't just try to like make $1 million out of one thing. I can be like making, I don't know, $100 a day, $100 a day, and eventually you're gonna get there.
Like small wins over time.
Exactly, small wins. Yeah, it's all about the small wins. Yeah,
or big wins or whatever, just to get your goal. I got what you're saying. I like that. That's actually really good.
That's what I mean.
Everyone has good days and bad days.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's normal for everyone to have just some days where you feel like you're on top of the world, especially in this industry. There's some days where you're like, oh, I'm king of the world, and then there's another day just like I hate my life. Yeah. Like it's always days like that. But I really do like that saying.
Yeah.
But one other thing I want to talk about is, I'm just very curious. So, like, you and your wife have a team together.
Right.
So, how is it like working together on a team? Like, you guys are obviously married, and then you guys are working together. How is that for you guys?
So we met. I feel like I can't really. Like, it's funny. Like, we met working at the same catering hall. And then I got a different job, and then she got a job at the same place. I mean, we have always worked together.
She followed you.
Okay, so that's perfect.
We follow each other.
Yeah, you guys have worked together forever. So that's perfect.
Exactly. So that's like I will feel weird not working right next to her.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I feel like
that's a strong bond right there.
It is.
That's awesome. I have my girlfriend is like medical field. I'm just entrepreneurship. 2 separate paths. So it's like. But it's cool because we can learn from each other, learn things from each other. That's awesome. You guys work together. You guys know how to work with each other. Because I feel like I don't think it's like a wrong thing to say that. I don't think everyone would be able to do that. You know what I mean? Because like sometimes like I feel like people want their space. I mean, just based off other people or whatever. Like I feel like not everyone would be able to do that. So it's I was just very curious because I saw that and I've never seen that before. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, no, we make like a great team. We work really good together. Huh?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What would you say, like, door knocking wise, would be a tip for people who want to door knock? Because again, a lot of people are scared to do it,
Of course.
or they want to get out the shell and do it. What would be the number one tip for you? Like, what do you say once you hit the door, and what would be your advice to that person that wants to do more?
I feel like it's the same thing with the Fistbulls, right? Like you don't want to go to to someone's door and not provide value, right? You want to like pretty much like create a relationship that where you can like let them know that whenever they need this type of service, I'm gonna be there, right? And it's all about, well, first just do it, right? Like don't think about it too much. Second thing I will say, try to like focus on building a relationship, like be helpful, right? What I do is like, let's say if houses have sold around that area, we'll let them know, look, like there's so many houses selling around this area. There's a lot of buyers trying to get into this, neighborhood. Have you ever thought about selling? And a lot of people will, I don't know. I feel like that's why I like door knocking because I think 99.99999 of people have been like super nice or at least polite. I feel like people tend to be less rude when they're like in front of you.
It's hard because when you're on the phone, they can just be like "F you" when they click, or just hang up on you. Yeah, it's hard to be mean to somebody in person.
Yeah, especially if you're smiling.
Yeah,
yeah. So that's the only thing. Like go there with like a good attitude. Like a good energy, and try to provide your service, and focus on building a relationship. Because most likely they're not gonna be ready right away. It's something that you're gonna have to be following up every like 3 months, 6 months. I don't know, but. Yeah.
Any crazy stories or nothing?
I think the only crazy thing that has happened to me was when I was dropping flyers, and it was like 9:10 in the morning, and this guy called me, right? It was like no caller ID, but I'm like, I'm gonna answer, right? I answer, and this guy is like, "Hi, am I speaking with Manny Sanchez?" And I got so happy. I'm like, "Yes, this is me, right?" I just like left the flyer, and this guy is like, "Manny, I just want to tell you that next time you leave a flyer on my door, I'm gonna like blow your head out or head off." And I'm like, "Make sure I will not do it again." All right, have a nice day. Fuck. Okay, goodbye. Yeah, that was the only crazy thing, though. That was the only one.
That's not where I was expecting you to go.
Oh yeah, I got so happy, man. I'm like, wow, listen, this is working, man. Nah, man. But that's the only thing. That's the only thing.
Yeah, door knocking is fun. I like to, I'm a people person, so I like to meet new people.
Yeah.
And create relationships, because like you said, that's the biggest thing is creating relationships. Yeah. I think what people struggle in is that they feel like they have to pitch them. You know what I mean? As opposed to just be personable.
Yeah.
Be, like you said, be helpful, provide value.
Right.
And then the conversation will automatically be a better conversation because they don't have their defense up. It's like when you walk into a store and they're like, "Can I help you something? Can I help you something?" It's like I just walked in.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
That's what I've seen as far as like door knocking wise.
You're right. Yeah. Yeah, like so far, I feel like door knocking and cold calling are always gonna be like my main prospecting methods. I like I have to learn, about like social media and all of that thing. And I feel like it is the future, like right now, everybody has a Facebook account or an Instagram account. But I feel like that's a little passive, people will see it, but they're not gonna feel like, or they might feel that you're talking to them directly, right? But that's why I like cold calling and door knocking, because you talk to them directly, like you're creating a conversation instead of like posting something, which I know like it's essential because nowadays if you meet someone, they're gonna look.
Yeah, they're gonna look you up.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that like social media is good for like in your circle.
I feel like.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's like it's good for your circle too. Like if you know people that like it's like kind of like brand recognition, brand awareness, like for the people that you know already. Just sort of keep reminding them like, "Yo, I'm in real estate, I'm in mortgages, I'm in whatever." It just like keeps reminding them. But like growing out, I feel like I agree with you. Like I think it's a lot better to be more direct and just like in front of people, and that's why like conversion rates on like cold calling compared to like social media, Like, you're spending money on social media. You don't have to spend money on cold calling. Besides your phone bill, you're going to pay that anyway.
Right.
Like, for people who are starting off, for people who are, like, in the business for 10 years, like, if they just stick to that, like, seems like they would do pretty well for themselves.
Yeah, no, definitely. I did it because, I mean, I feel like it's kind of free. You know, you don't have to pay for it.
Yeah. It's free marketing.
Yeah,
You're just using your own labor to fund it.
Right.
One thing I said before, like a while back, like one of the earliest episodes was like I was saying like you either pay to make your phone ring or you got to ring it yourself.
Right.
And like that was just something that like it's still true to this day. Like it won't change.
Yeah.
Like it's just how it is.
Yeah.
It's true though. Like, you know, I come across a lot of people who like, you know, they want advice door knocking or cold calling, and they're scared to do it, or they just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But then they're paying for like Zillow leads or Realtor leads, and you're still picking up the phone to call a stranger that you didn't even met.
Right.
So what's the
difference?
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. What's the difference? You just got to do it. Get over the fear.
Right.
You know.
And Zillow leads suck anyway. So
Heard about it. I never pay for leads, but like
I hate Zillow leads still to this day. I've never been the biggest advocate for Zillow leads, but I mean, hey, if you like it and it works for you, it works for you. Maybe I just suck at calling Zillow leads. Who knows? But
yeah, and it could be like I mean, like I feel like that's what I like about this industry, that like everybody can do different things to come up with like business, right? That bring business. Either it's door knocking, cold calling, or I've seen a lot of people making a lot of business, getting a lot of business from referrals, right? From like their sphere of influence and stuff like that. Like with me, I don't really know them. I don't have that many family in here, so cold calling it is, door knocking.
And I feel like if you're like when you're speaking to somebody you don't know, I feel like you can create a stronger bond with them because like when you're like working with family or friends, like you don't want to be like super, you know, like touchy on like whatever situations are going on. I don't know. It's like I don't even know how to say it properly, but it's like you can't like tell them like, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. It's kind of like a different situation.
Oh yeah.
So it's like I prefer working with people I don't know because like then I could be more real with them and just like it won't be like so much of like I don't have to like hold myself back from like saying like something that can help them or things like that.
Right.
I kind of like it, and I feel like those people also refer out a lot of business. If you create a really good relationship with somebody that you don't know and you have that bond, like, and they have a family and they have friends, you're just in, and they'll just send your name out to everyone who wants to buy or sell a house, you know. So
No, it's good. It's different ways, you know.
Yeah.
Different ways to make it in this business. That's
So-
why I love it.
yeah, we love it too, and I'm super happy you shared so much knowledge. You know, where can people reach out to you?
My phone, I have a website, phone number, email. My phone number is 516-808-7969, and my email is soldbysanchez.com. I'm soldbysanchezteam.com.
So about
Yep,
Sanchez
yep.
team. Well, look, man, we appreciate you coming by. Again, this was long overdue. We're happy for your success, man. I'm happy to see another Latino, another Saudi,
Thank you.
in the business. And, we look forward to see what you do in the future, man.
Thank you so much, man. Super honored to be here.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, that was the latest episode of Real Estate and Chill Podcast. We will see you next time.
Thank you for tuning in to the Real Estate and Chill podcast with James Chaudhry and Kevin Iglesias. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, share this with your friends, your enemies, your mother-in-law. No, seriously, this podcast is so fucking